Welcome to the great city of Vancouver, Canada, and the historic Gastown neighborhood. The legendary race returns. It's the Global Relay Gastown Grand Prix.
All we want you to do is take aim at that tree up there. Riders, it's going to be on the 3, 2, 1. Riders, ready. 3, 2, 1.
Okay, and so we're off. Leslie, the women's race turned into was a sprint finish. What are you expecting for men?
Well, word has we're trying to get a breakaway going here. There's a few riders that are really going to be interested. Some of our top national team representatives that are pretty interested in trying to do something to avoid it coming down to a sprint where obviously then Ken Hansen, winner from last year's Gastown Grand Prix, would be the favorite to come out of that. So he is the marked top sprinter in the field, and there's a number of guys that are going to be interested in trying to avoid having that happen.
Ken Hansen, defending champion, so he'll definitely be marked. There's a few more teams playing some strategy here than the women's race. I have a feeling that they're going to be driving really hard and try to get a gap. They're trying to split this field up because it's a big, strong field and a lot of talent in it. But there's 3 or 4 teams that I think would like to get out there and shed a bunch of the riders and try to make something happen here.
Yeah, so the difference from the women's team, we had three teams that were marked and working hard to try and separate, but perhaps not following through on it. Here, I think we have more teams that are going to be interested in making that happen. And we've also noticed there's some interesting potential sort of combinations of a few riders who are riding individually, like Christian Meyer, Will Routley, Nick Hamilton, and Zach Bell.
Yeah, I think they're going really fast, and the back riders here are really getting stretched. But at the front of the group, I would say it's a relatively fairly tame start, actually. As hard as the back riders are making it looks pretty safe so far. Optum, presented by Kelly Benefit Strategies. I think they've got the team here to win with both Ken Hansen, defending champion, and Ryan Anderson, who won last night. But then you got the James Hagens-Berman team, and there's 2 variants of that in this race. I think they're the 2 strong teams, but then individually, Zach Bell, Christian Meyer, Nick Hamilton, they're all riding separate teams, but they've been working together. The Tour Beauce last month, they rode as a national team.
It's Will Routley, actually.
Yeah, Will at the front.
Trying to keep the pace high right off the bat, and he did say he would be obviously working hard to try and activate a breakaway.
And Christian Meyer right behind him, I think. No, that wasn't.
Yeah, I believe that is. That is Christian Meyer.
It looked like him, but it had 44.
Christian Meyer will attack and attack and attack and attack, as Will said. So he was right there in the front. There he is, second wheel.
Yeah, little splits. They are all strung out. It's 1 by 1 all through the start-finish line. So they're already about spread out over, I'd say, 400 meters.
Even a gap right there. You got Will Routley in that gap. Will Routley, Christian Meyer driving it. And although it's just an initiation, you can see that there's definitely an intent to make something happen.
Oh, absolutely. And those guys really have to. They don't have this. They're not sprinters. They have to make that hard. So that was Christian Meyer, right? It looks like it's 44, but his number's actually 4.
Numbers close together. And again, always deceiving, this picture from the back straight where you can see a gap, but it tends to be a little bit larger than what the screen shows.
Yeah, the long lens shortens it up for sure. So last 2 turns, these are really technical turns. First one not too bad on regular pavement, but then it's off camera into this next one. It's on some shiny bricks, it's a rough road. That one is quite a technical turn.
And of course the long slog, it's a lot longer than it looks coming up here to the finish line. A little bit of uphill, there's some bumps, stutter bumps, nasty pavement.
I think Christian Meyer is really going to animate this race. I mean, he's out at the front right away. He's the only World Tour rider in the field. That's like going to a hockey match of some sort in Canada with junior A levels, and then having an NHL jersey, in amongst everyone. It's going to stand out like a sore thumb, and he's pushing it from the start. I don't think he's really a favorite to win this race. He's not enough of a sprinter. He's just longer races. And
he didn't race last night in the UBC Classic Criterium. They're encouraging him not to race too much. He's got a long season still up ahead of him. He did race the Giro along with Ryder Hestel and Swain Tough. And actually, word was from Christian last night that he is expecting to do the Vuelta at the end of the season as well. So he's got a lot of racing still ahead.
Yeah, and a lot of long races. So this is a very, very short race for him. But
right on the front.
I think as a local rider, he would really like to win this. And the only way really for him to win it is to establish a break, maybe go away on his own, or certainly drive a small breakaway with that he can drive into the ground and then pummel in the sprint. But not a pure sprinter. Certainly animated to do a lot. Or him and Will Routley, they've been the guys we've seen at the front for the first couple of laps.
And they will work together. They will work together to some degree. They raced on Sunday as national team teammates in the UCI road race. They're riding independently here. And you see Zach Bell was on the end of the group as well. So there's Zach. He's joined that group. Now that's a lot of firepower we've got in that little breakaway. Christian Meyer, Will Routley, Zach Bell.
The last few years that the Gastown's been run, it's been a bunch sprint for both the men's and women's. But if you go back a bit further, Gastown was almost always won by a breakaway that went away fairly early. And what was that, about 8 riders off the front now so far? And we'll see if something sticks here.
Trying to get a look at who the rest of them are, but looks like one of the Germans, is that one of the Germans? No, one of the Predator Carbon Repair riders in there as well. It's had a strong showing. Again, last night ended up in a breakaway, 6 riders. Just 1 rider from each team represented.
Zach Bell at the front. He might be one of the fastest guys he is one of the fastest guys in the field for sure. Ken Hansen is a sprinter we all talk about, but really Zach Bell is Omnium specialist on the track, great crit rider.
Well, he has had a spectacular year so far this year, so that looks like now we've got close to a dozen riders, I think, in that breakaway. Or in that little gap, I should say. 31, so that's Steve Fisher. He was there. He was last night, very prominent last night as well.
Yeah, let's see if Zach Bell's going for preems or if he's trying to make this breakaway happen. I don't think he's that interested in the preem.
Yeah. So Steve Fisher right there, a little bit of a
Florence now, or the German wins it. We've got a funny story about the Germans. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But yeah, they've got a sizable gap, but the group isn't letting them go. They're strung out and they're trying hard. So they've closed a big portion of that gap at that time. The field's not going to just let them ride away. So we'll see if this all comes together and then see who the next ones are to try.
Christian Meyer again on the front. Zach Bell there in the red Canadian National Champions jerseys, racing for Ford Champion, but he's in the national team kit. And we do have Optim Kelly Benefit Strategies. I don't know if that's Ryan Anderson. He would be watching these guys intently. 61, that's Steve Fisher. Steve Fisher won the road race on Sunday.
Yeah, he is a little guy. Hey, little sprinter. Sprinters quite often look a little bit more like Zach Bell and, big muscular guys. But Steve Fisher looks like a guy who could actually climb. But
apparently he did. Sunday road race.
Yeah, I'm sure he can, but he's got a really good sprint on him. So
no, I know it is odd to see. It is odd to see a favored sprinter. It's really so.
Such a slight build.
build.
So group all back together. Next round of attacks to see who can go away. But Christian Meyer hasn't really been out of the top 3 or 5, and consistently at the front along with Will Routley.
And we did see Ryan Anderson right close to the front there, not front wheel.
So see again if we see the whole field, but there was a little sizable split about halfway down the field. They are strung out, and this last half of the field is having a hard time. They're still coming by the start-finish line, and the leaders are halfway down the backstretch.
Marsh Cooper was showing his face up at the front of the group there. He worked really hard last night for Ryan Anderson's win. He pulled a couple of mega efforts in helping him to position himself for the win last night.
It's a red truck mosaic all-stream rider at the front. Not sure who that is just yet. Good to see that local team up front here.
Prima food for sport, real food available at the Musette Cafe. Cycling Cafe downtown. If you haven't been to the Musette Cafe, great place to go and hang out, particularly if you like the sport.
Bailey McKnight at the front there. So that's good for him to be leading the Gastown Grand Prix again, like the women's team, a little bit of a development team. And, you know, I wouldn't say they're in over their heads, but the rest of the field is used to riding, you know, big international races. And for that local team, it's good for them to be mixing it up with these guys. They'll learn a lot.
Yeah, and it's a compliment, too, to the effort that's been put in supporting that program and the amount of funding that's come from Mark James Group, local Vancouver businessman, done a really great job with that Red Truck project.
You know, I think these leaders are going to be lapping people soon, so they're going to be pulling riders off the course probably in the next 3 or 4 laps.
Well, again, in the UBC criterium, quite early on, the majority of the field was pulled. Most of the local riders didn't actually make it through to halfway, and they did. And then the breakaway of 6 did lap the field. So.
Yeah, there's some guys here that are just getting pummeled. But, you know, that's the way Gastown is. It's one of the most prestigious races in North America, and with a top-quality field, they make it look relatively easy at the front, but, you know, this is down the backstretch, a little bit of a downhill. This is an over a 50k an hour backstretch, and it's pretty hard to keep that up. And plus, you know, you dig yourself a hole in the back as the leaders go through these turns and accelerate out of them, and you're still guys at the back are still braking for them. Yeah. It's just a slinky effect, and it just gets harder and harder. So you just have to move up, but easier said than done.
Every time you think you're in a happy place getting on that back wheel, all of a sudden it just moves away again. Yeah. So yeah, not a good place to be. And that just gets set up early on, and there's really nowhere to move around on this course very, very well from the back anyway.
Yeah, on the back, on the back stretch, you have to make a big effort and put your nose in the wind, and you know, try to, if the pace eases off, like make a big effort to, you know, move 20 places up. Then you might lose 20 paces in the turn. Okay, so Preem coming up, second one, 41 laps to go, 42 laps to go. And look at that, Christian Meyer at the front.
Yeah, he's holding that position. Nothing else that keeps him out of trouble.
Yep.
If he can make something happen, great. But as you say, he gets that clear path through the corners, gets to keep his speed, accelerate out, and not get himself into any trouble.
It's interesting.
There's that African rider that we were pointing out. And
there's a rider. Yeah, from Eritrea.
Yeah.
In Africa.
Awesome. And you know what? He actually made it through almost the entire crit last night. So it's awesome to see those countries representative at a level like this in bike racing.
Yeah, Eritrea comes to Vancouver. So Jameis Hagens Berman at the front there.
That looks like Steve Fisher. We just saw him go out of the frame there.
$50 in coffee. Pretty good deal.
So who's setting themselves up? Who are these guys in the front? This is the other team of
Predator Carbon Repair, I think, because last night they had a Carbon Repair.
Yeah, they're trying to do something, but it's a long way to go. Number 50.
That's right. Aurélien Passeron and Dion Smith. From
Looks like they're trying to set something up for Passeron, but that's a long way to go up there. The lead car coming through, and
let's see if Steve Fisher takes this.
Yep.
Yeah.
So Aurélien Passeron wins that. Passeron from France. Predator Carbon Repair is the team, so they're out of Atlanta, Georgia. Let's see how they set themselves up for the rest of the race. So these German guys, there's a German national team, and then there's a club team from Germany. and they've been working together, been doing well all week. The funny story about them is the club team got a bit of a crash here in the first turn. They're up and back on pretty quick. They'll be fine. Yeah, you better get going. Yeah, he's not going to be fine for long if he doesn't get pedaling soon. Anyway, these Germans, after this BC Super Week, they're on their way down to Las Vegas to party and have a vacation. So their whole mission is to win preems and stock their wallets for Vegas. And they're having a great time here. They're enjoying the weather in Vancouver and BC Super Week. So keep an eye on those guys and see how they do.
Second and third last night too.
I know, it's been awesome.
And you know, the other thing about those guys too is we've said often that crit racing is a North American phenomenon. So we really don't see a lot of the Europeans excelling if they haven't spent a lot of time over here. But these guys apparently spend a while in Belgium doing some kermesse racing, so getting their legs under them for some of these tight technical courses. And yeah, just maybe fill their pockets with a little bit more pre money, put a bit of training into it.
Yeah, they're having a good time. 41 laps to go, and Pasteron was still leading.
Steve Fisher driving that break.
Yeah, so three of them have made a little bit of a gap. So after Pasteron won that premium, he just kept going. Now he's got Steve Fisher up there. But not much of a gap, though, so we'll see what happens on the backstretch if those guys can stretch anything out. I have a feeling that the field's not going to just let those guys go.
Zach a little bit further back in the group there. And Zach Bell has come back after what, you know, he notedly said was a disappointing Olympics. He did end up 8th in the Omnium, but, you know, he was touted to come away with a medal. And Zach Bell, but winning the national championships finally, which is not an easy thing to do, obviously, when you're a marked rider as he is. And he's felt also that he's been marked throughout this tour as well.
Yeah, and he hasn't won a race yet. I have a feeling that, you know, for a
Here,
rider,
he hasn't won a race.
Right, in BC Super Week.
Yeah,
Sorry,
he's won international.
Yeah, he's won Canadian National Road Championship. Christian Meyer at the front again. But yeah, Zach Bell, for a rider his stature.
Tour of Malaysia.
Sorry?
Won a stage in Tour of Malaysia, I believe.
Yeah, and but he would like to, at some point in his career, have Gastown. If you're a Zach Bell, you want to win Gastown.
Yeah.
And so I think the pressure's on him a little bit, and probably the other riders know it, so as fast as he is, it might be a bit tough.
And here it comes, top down. Wouldn't you like to be cruising the streets of Gastown tonight?
But the way Gastown unfolds, I would say that in spite of Zach Bell, etc., Ken Hansen, last year's winner, is probably the favorite for this race. The fastest guy in the field. He's won already this week. Defending champion of Gastown Grand Prix.
Fastest guy in the field, and unless there can be a breakaway to support some of those guys that we've talked about, a Christian Meyer. Luis Zamaran as well has had a really good showing. He won the other night, crit out in Delta.
Yeah, so Louis Amaran and James Hagens talk a little bit about Optum Kelly Benefit. We haven't seen them too much at the front yet, but again, they've got Ken Hansen and also Ryan Anderson who won last night. So, you know, they've got a two-pronged attack as well as some other really strong guys. Marsh Cooper, Sebastian Salas. They're not really the crit guys, but you know, they can be really good support riders for those two. So Ryan Anderson, the Dominator, and Ken Hansen, I think they'll be trying to do something here. But they haven't really shown themselves yet, just like the women.
Yeah, just kind of going along with following the wheels. They're in good position, though. We did see Ryan. As soon as there was a little bit of a separation, Ryan Anderson was actually in there. And along with Marsh Cooper. Marsh Cooper, young rider from, and again, they came out of the Symmetrics program back a few years back. But Marsh Cooper last night, again, worked really, really hard for Ryan when he was under a little bit of a threat to maybe not take that win. And that's Florence Nauer. Florence Nauer last night was on the
So he's one of those Germans off that club team that we were talking about. So he's on his way to Vegas after this. He's got tomorrow night in Burnaby and then the Tour of White Rock. And then as far as I know, they're on holiday down in Vegas. So he's having fun here and looking to pick up some money maybe.
He was second place last night in UBC.
I'm impressed with this Predator Carbon Repair team. I don't know much about them. There's a Canadian on it, Jean-Michel Lachance, but yeah, rider from Trinidad, Argentina, Canada.
And that is Steve Fisher.
Global Relay, talking about the 200 volunteers.
Oh, 2 of them.
Is it?
Working here to bring the circus.
Yeah, we'll see if they can get a free lap out of that, but they're on the backstretch. I don't think that's going to happen.
From Bike Gallery. They're also doing the neutral pits for us over here. One of the proud sponsors.
Well, I didn't see exactly who that was, but if it's Steve Fisher, that's significant.
I didn't quite to see the start of that, how that happened, but it looked like he may have taken himself down, but there are some other riders down, so we didn't quite see what started that. Oh, look at that, Christian Meyer off the front.
For something completely different.
Yeah, Marsh Cooper trying to go across.
Marsh Cooper trying to go across.
So we're just
Ryan
talking
Anderson
about him.
sitting there
And
about
then-
7th wheel back.
So just across the start-finish line, the Musette rider came backwards. He's going to try to get a free lap and get that wheel change. But meanwhile, Christian Meyer is driving the pace.
Christian Meyer with Florence
Along
Nauer,
with Florence
and Marsh
Nauer.
trying to go across.
Yeah, passer on this team Predator Carbon Repair. He's been pretty active. And got a lot of little gaps showing up in the field across the start-finish line. So, yeah, the pace is on, and they're trying hard.
Put a pressure on the front of the group.
Yeah, it's causing a bit of carnage in the back. All these guys here are having a hard time. They're wondering why they even started this thing.
Time for beer.
Gritting faces, and I think the writing's on the wall for those guys. But meanwhile, up the front, Christian Meyer driving it. Orca Green Edge jersey is really easy to pick out. The only World Tour jersey in the field.
And he was saying he was on the phone to Swain Tuff the other night after his team time trial stage win, and just said it's just sort of settled in now. Swain was taken over for the team time trial and for the time trial events, the individual time trial events, just sunk into. He's a Tour de France stage winner, so
and
pretty blown away.
Today he's 6th on the stage today, so great ride by Swain. It's good to see that. So top 6 individual. Yeah, absolutely. And every time you have a local guy like that step up into World Tour program, the way Brian Walton did with Ron Hayman in the early days, it just elevates the whole local scene, and it brings up and shows people what's possible.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, of course, you have the other elements like the Global Relay Bridge the Gap program to help support some of those athletes that aren't quite, at a pro ride level yet, but have the talent and give them the ability. Because we've talked about with bike racing to really make a big effort. Sometimes it means not being able to start a career as early as you'd like to, or work at all, right,
yeah,
Bruce?
Absolutely.
How old were you when you started working?
That's my biggest success. I got my first job when I was about 35, after I stopped bike racing. So it looks like they may have eased up just a little bit here, but not for very long before someone goes again.
A lot of activity, though, by the Optum team. They were very, they've got a very big presence at the front of the group.
Like Hagens, Berman at the front right now.
John Tolkamp is the president of Cycling Canada, or Canada.
So that's Steve Fisher in there in 3rd place there. So I think
it wasn't him that went down, apparently.
That's Louis Amaron. He won a stage earlier this week, so he's definitely on form, and he's trying to drive the pace now and make something happen. Not sure if he's what kind of sprinter he is, but I think he wants to whittle down the field. He'd like to go from a smaller bunch.
Well, he did win the crit on Friday night, so I don't think he's a pure sprinter, but one of the classier sprinters in the field.
Obviously savvy enough, but yeah, nice little gap here moved up, and there's a few guys trying to make it across, and it looks like about 6, and
a lot of orange
maybe not 10 seconds, but 8. I see Cody Canning from Red Truck Allstream near the front of that chase group, so he's trying to be active and keep himself up in here. 1, 2, 3, 4. 6 guys are making a little gap here, and they're not working hard enough for whoever that was in the front. So he's getting a little bit pissy at his compatriots there in the break. He wants to drive it, and they're not sure if they want to go.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's not happy.
Come on, guys.
Sorry?
Do you know if Fisher was actually down on that fall?
It looked like it was, but he's back up in, so I don't think it was.
But that's at the high end of the scale. It's the developmental side of things that we need to think about.
So who was that driving that breakaway?
This is going to work, guys. You got to start. You got to start coming through. I couldn't see it. Wasn't Steve Fisher hadn't gone through? He's gone through now.
This is Steve Fisher here.
Yeah, and we don't know if that's who went down. Apparently not. If he got to it, no, he doesn't have any marks on him.
Yeah, he looks good. Again, carbon repair. That was Cody O'Reilly from the U.S. So small team, but obviously really active in the front of this race, and got creams. They've been in some breaks, and they've got a plan.
And the other rider we have in there is another one of the Germans, I believe. Joachim Tolls. Team head by Staps.
Yeah, I'm rooting for these Germans a little bit. Sound like a bunch of characters and racing hard and having fun in Canada. Yeah, so I think there's some baggage in this break. They're not working as well as they need to really try to get off the front. There's a couple strong guys in there. But they're not all working together all that great. We'll see if anything happens there. But so far they've been maintaining a gap.
It isn't an organized effort.
So
that's going to fail.
Now,
and so now we have the German making a little bit of a push off the front. So he was sort of sitting.
Yeah, they're not working together, and then they're attack after attack, and yeah, they could do that at the end, but right now they need to try to extricate themselves from the field. But it doesn't look like that's happening. There's just not enough cooperation going on.
It's not a cohesive effort. And then who do we have on the back from Team Optum? Kelly Benefits. So number 99 is...
Ben Chaddock.
Ben Chaddock.
Oh, I didn't know Ben Chaddock was in this thing.
Yeah.
He was a Canadian criterium champion last year.
Yeah.
Breakaway here right now. Steve Fisher, Ben Chaddock. You guys want to come in?
Sure.
And Predator Carbon Repair Rider number 52. That's Cody O'Reilly. He's real fast as well.
So I've got John Tolkamp joining us again for the men's race. Developing a little different than the women's. Seemed to be a little more breaks, whereas the women's race was aggressive, but no one ever really got away. And I wouldn't call this a breakaway, but there's certainly been a lot of gaps showing up. What's your take on the race so far?
Well, that's what you call the typical race of attrition, I would say, out there right now. And you got some strong guys. You've got a guy like Christian Meyer who's used to doing 3-week races and 200-kilometer stages, and he just wants to drive this thing, make it as hard as possible, and get himself in a small select group.
This little small select group we got here, they last couple laps, they weren't working together that well, but they're maintaining a bit of a gap, so they're obviously working together a little bit there. Steve Fisher, he's been driving hard. The German guy, I forget his name, but he's been pushing hard. So they seem to be they seem to be working it out now. They're working better together.
Well, I think what's kind of interesting about this little group is you got a couple top sprinters in here, and they're trying to push it. Steve's been phenomenal. Obviously, he's trying to make a name for himself. He did win a big race here last year, picked up a contract with Exergy, but when they folded, he went back to the Huggins-Bergens team, and he's looking to make a name for himself here. He's doing a good showing.
So far, I've been impressed with this Predator Carbon Repair team. I've never heard of it. It seems like a small team. It's very international, but they've been really active.
Yeah, you and me both. I didn't hear of them till this weekend either.
Yeah. But yeah, so far they've won a preem, and they've been in almost every breakaway attempt.
Wow, yeah, they're being super aggressive.
So 6 guys off the front, and they've been maintaining it for about 4 laps now.
Still quite a large chasing peloton at this point in time.
Yeah, they haven't really made a big dent in the field, but they've been able to stay off, and I think they're extending it a little bit.
Well, the interesting thing, Optum is probably the strongest team together, like the team on paper, and they've got a guy in there, and it kind of looks like Optum's a bit happy with who they've got in there right now. He's just sitting on, as you can see.
Yeah, they've got numbers, and I don't think they're looking at this as a big threat. But you know, if you're one of the smaller teams, you've got to take chances like this. And you know, if some of those guys come across, some of these guys may find themselves in the winning break.
Well, I think we've also got a German rider, and they've always been super aggressive all week so far, and I don't think they're chasing either. So it's a couple of the strong teams are kind of just letting it go, and then obviously you got some of the strongest riders in here actually riding on their own. They don't have team support, so they're probably sitting back right now trying to recover, hoping some other teams will come to the front and keep this gap reasonable and see what they can do in the last 20 laps or so.
Yeah, it's the interesting thing about bike racing. You know, it's a lot of game playing going on, like trying to get someone else to do your work for you.
Yeah.
And now they've got a bit of a gap, so somebody's got to take the lead and actually do the work.
Yeah,
but if they have some infighting in the field, they can't figure it out. These guys have a little chance to extend the gap a bit.
Well,
and so far they've been doing it.
Putting a huge turn on the front of the peloton right now. And I think he's eating up a bunch of time.
Yeah, my guess is that this isn't going to be the break of the race.
That's Will Rowley. He's just driving it right now.
Yeah, he's been pretty active at the front. He's not really a crit specialist and that, so I think he wants to make it as hard as he can for everyone.
Yeah, he's on his own. He's not going to leave it up to the other team. He's not going to play chess with them right now.
It'd be interesting to see if he's working with some of the national team guys.
Well, I gotta think that the ex-Symmetrics guys, Will and Zach and Christian, are all working together. The only one maybe is Ryan because he's got a team here. Right. But the ex-Symmetrics guys, they know each other well. They're going to try and support each other. They'd rather see one of them win than one of the Americans or the Germans for sure.
Yeah, if I was in this and on my own, I'd be trying to find some other guys that were in the same boat and try to work something out.
Yeah, exactly.
That's our job, to try and figure out who's working with who.
Yeah,
they have different jerseys on.
It's tough. It's tough, right? For sure. But yeah, the Optimum guy is just sitting on. He's been chewing on the gel. He's got a pretty cushy ride right now, it looks like.
Yeah, so he's happy with just sitting back there.
Yeah.
That's Christopher Dahl. Oh, that's not him.
No, I think Christopher's with H&R Block, I believe. Yeah. Actually, Christopher's a good up-and-coming rider, and it's great to see him on the H&R Block team. He's been doing well.
Oh, have a look at what's going on here.
Well, Steve Fisher is just driving it. I mean, he's known for his sprint, and to see him put all this energy into this breakaway is
yeah, he's committed for sure.
Yeah, he's committed. It might be for naught, but we'll see.
But you know, there's a little bit of infighting here in the chase. They're not getting it together, and there's some people not happy about it. Meanwhile, the breakaway's starting to ride away a little bit.
Just by the way the guys took that corner there in that lead group, I think a couple of them are starting to get a little tired. They're starting to make a few mistakes. That gap really isn't growing right now. If anything, I think it's closing down. And actually, you can see it now. Optimum's starting to shut it down. They're not so happy with it, and it's actually their lead rider, which actually I'm starting to suspect that they're riding this for Ryan Anderson. If their top sprinter is actually doing a lot of work, and I saw him bridge that early break that Christian was driving, they might be setting up for Ryan. He's looked good, and I'm sure they'd love to have a homeboy win.
Yeah, I think being the home guy, they would try to get him the win if they could, but it'd be nice to have Ben Hansen as a backup.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I've got to go to some other duties, so it's been great to stop by. And we'll see
thanks for that. We'll see you at the finish. So 29 laps to go. And I think we're holding now at around 10 to 15 seconds.
Around 10, 12 seconds, yeah. Huge commitment by Steve Fisher. Boy, he's they're organized. His teammates covering.
Yeah, we were talking about that.
From the group, yeah.
He seems to be the one that's, really got the most commitment out of that. But here comes.
Ryan Anderson's trying to go across right there. So. But Christian Meyer isn't letting that.
Yeah, I'm sure if Ryan Anderson moves, there's going to be 3 or 4 guys that are on his wheel. That's where it's tough being a Zach Bell or a Ben Hansen or Ryan Anderson. Those are all potential winners of this race, and so people have them marked, almost as much as Christian Meyer in that Orica Green Edge jersey. So Steve Fisher flicking his elbow, trying to get other people to go through.
Probably Ben Chaddock is Ben Chaddock's the fastest guy in that breakaway on paper, right? Just. Got Ryan Anderson's teammate just sitting on the back, hasn't put his nose in the wind at all.
I don't know who that guy is though. 119, I don't have him on my list. So. Yeah, obviously one of his teammates, but
Yeah.
I have no idea who it is.
Just covering the move.
Yeah, he hasn't been doing any work. He's been mostly pretty much sitting on the back, getting an armchair ride, and
As he should be.
yeah, waiting for the rest of the race to develop. And
So now I've got some help from Optum Kelly Benefit Strategies, and it looks like it's going to come together again. Yeah. Started to soft pedal a little bit. They know that's over.
I think that's wrong, but
Could be a counter.
so on the start list is Quinn Anderson, but the team doesn't match. So yeah, we'll see.
Steve Fisher's not letting up, though. He's not just going to sit up.
If that's not the right mix, he's going to try to go ahead and then see if
Wait
some
for
guys come
someone else to
across,
come
and
across, yeah.
work with them. Which is a kind of a risky strategy, but
Well, you know, I was telling you last night, Bruce, too, in the UBC criterium, after his breakaway, the breakaway he was in as 6 riders had lapped the field. He went right to the front and off the front again with Zach Bell.
Aggressive
so
2 nights in a row.
He's aggressive.
yeah, good to see. And Christian
Meyer
Meyer at
on
the
the
front.
front.
So these are the 2 guys we've talked about the most so far, Christian Meyer and Steve Fisher at the front. And then I think that's Passer on there as well, so he's been really active. Interesting wheel choice for Gastown. He's got really deep dish wheels. It's rough pavement, and I think most of the guys would have picked a wheel with a little lower profile rim, a little smoother ride. And just at a quick glance at the field, and I think he's one of the few guys using a really aero set of wheels.
So we were saying, too, Steve Fisher, small guy, not what you'd expect for obviously a relatively accomplished sprinter, and apparently likes to ride on the front a lot as well. So what an odd combination. But
Yeah. Yeah, little guy who time trials off the front and sprints, when normally you would think a guy his stature would be, climber and endurance guy. But he's been at the front a lot this race. Yeah, see how the back of that pack is so strung out. Those guys in the last third are having a hard time.
they're wishing they could go home soon, I think.
Hanging on for dear life, really. So Steve Fisher, Christian Meyer, 119, whoever that is. Ryan Anderson
right near the front.
Yeah. And all back together. So now we'll see who the
And I
next.
see Zach there over on the right-hand side as well, not far off the front.
Somebody put his hand up there like he's having some kind of problem, and this is that carbon repair guy going off the front. I don't know if that's passed on or not. But it won't be long before the next move goes. These guys aren't going to hang around for very long and just ride around here. As soon as they get back together, someone's going to make a move and try to go off.
And I'd expect another move off this preem coming up. Let whoever sprint for the preem and then see something set up right after it.
That was passed.
As Marsh Cooper, he's just covering the front there. Always brilliant workhorse.
Yeah,
does
what
a
a
great
talent he
job.
is.
Yeah, great talent.
Probably not a winner of this race, but certainly one of the key guys in setting up a potential winner from their team. Michael Schweitzer, team goes, another German.
Third last night, and another one of those guys. Maybe they're all going to Vegas.
I'm sure there's a bunch of Germans. Team Germany and Team Bayer Landshut. So there's 6 of them here, and different jerseys, but I think they've got a little thing they're working out together.
Again, was that Luis Amaran up there on the front, near the front? A winner from a few nights ago.
So we're over 20 laps in and no breakaway so far. Back in the old days, the breakaway would have been established and would have been coming around, maybe not lapping the field yet, but 8 guys would have got away and dominating the race. The last few times racing, Brian Walton, next winner of this race, just informed us that pretty soon now, we're 26 laps to go, that they figure they're going to be ringing the bell almost every lap because people are coming up donating money for various primes. So it's going to be, $100 to $500 a lap every time through here. That's going to keep the pace high and
keep the Germans happy.
Yeah, keep the Germans happy for their Vegas trip, and it might inhibit some breakaways because he's just going to be sprint after sprint. But we'll see.
And speaking of guys that can win this without a sprint, isn't that Brian Walton, self-confessed non-sprinter?
Yeah, exactly. One on the Powerhouse 711 team sitting next to us. So one of the times I was on the podium here, it was Brian that won. And for you've been on the podium here, and Gina won that race, I think. So she's been up on the podium here as well.
Oh, Gina's won 3 times, but she is a pure sprinter. She needs a good lead out, but fast set of legs.
So they've a little lull in the pace here. So good time for a counterattack. Pace slows down. Someone goes over the top and just nails them hard. Might get a nice little gap. Easier said than done, though.
Well, you notice the size of the field has decreased significantly now. This is probably what we're going to end up with, give or take a few other guys that are going to go off now.
So,
the majority of the locals are gone. Christian Meyer again in front.
Maybe not a move, but certainly keeping the pace high. And the field's shrunk a little bit on the backstretch. Usually out of the camera shot, the follow Carl Kopp, an official will pull people off, relieve them of the misery.
And as Will Routley said before the race, Christian Meyer, regardless, is going to make this race active and be on the front a lot. Try hard. Trying hard. That sounds so funny when you hear people say he'll try hard. But
that guy at the back, he's trying really hard too.
He's probably trying harder than Christian.
Steve Fisher takes a preem. Oh no, sorry, that wasn't a preem, but trying hard again to go off the front. That's pretty amazing. He's just came off of a breakaway, and here he is trying again.
Certainly, the 2 days I've been watching, he's the most animated rider in the race.
Yeah, but he's actually getting himself in the break and making making gaps happen. Whereas Christian Meyer seems to be happy just to go to the front and pull him around.
On the front,
yeah. Maybe just make it hard enough that loosen things up, and with 5 to 10 laps to go, maybe he'll actually try to make a move to stick. But as much as I think Christian Meyer would like to win this race, I don't think he's riding like he's trying to win it.
No,
I think he's there to try to pummel the field the best he can and get some training out of it.
Get some training, make it hard.
Yeah. Again, like you say, he didn't race last night, so limiting the racing a little bit, and maybe going to try to put a big effort in here and punish some guys anyway. Guido Palma at the front. James Hagens Berman, but again, not for very long because once again, Christian Meyer at the front. Yeah, it's great to see, local boy on an Aussie team in the World Tour.
And he obviously feels he has a responsibility to show the colors and ride like a pro.
Yeah. If you're going to be in that jersey, you should be at the front.
$200 cash, Ryan.
So $200 on the line next time around. Going to be a few guys that are going to be pretty amped to try and take that. Maybe one of the German guys, carbon repair guys. No, any of them. Usually on these teams, they don't really care who wins a preem. They just take as much money as they can and throw it all in the pot and split it.
And there's our African still there. That's great to see. He's hanging in. This quality of field, that's pretty amazing for him to come over here and be riding this level of bike race.
Yeah, I had to look up Eritrea a couple months ago on the map because I'd never actually heard of it. I thought I knew geography well, but northeast coast of Africa.
You're doing better than me. You looked it up. And Luis Amaran.
Yeah, I'm really impressed with this Hagens Berman team. Again, they got the Jameis version of it, and then just the Hagens Berman. I'm not sure what the split is with it, but they've got about 12 riders total. And definitely been active.
Here comes The race, the sprint for $200.
Okay, so $200 premier. I think Christian Meyer's gonna. Oh no, sorry, that wasn't. Joachim Tolis, not a German. More money, $200 more in the Vegas pot.
Team HED, another German team, German rider from Mainz, Germany. Read him on. Right number 40. Racing for your applause.
So Gina Grain just joined us to talk a little bit about good old Gastown. How is it being back here, Gina?
It's a nice memory. I'm happy to be on the sidelines watching, but it was such a phenomenal event when I was racing.
It's funny, we had a bunch of people this week saying, Gina's training for Gastown. I'm like, no, she's training for the VIP tent, come on.
That's right.
So interesting watching Zach out there. Obviously, you know, he's has trouble, you know, making, or he's marked. You know, we saw that last night as well at UBC. So, any comments on the racing tonight?
You know what? For a local to do well in a local race sounds funny, but it's actually very hard for a local to win a local race. And what happens is when you're a good rider and everybody knows you and everybody knows you're strong, they're all going to follow your wheel and say, hey, that person's going to bring me to the finish and to win. So for Zach to be doing what he's doing is a phenomenal phenomenal act of strength and endurance, to be sitting in the race and everybody following him. So he's doing a great job, as is everybody else racing.
And what do you think of this Steve Fisher, who's just basically off the front pretty much every couple of laps? He's just quite the talent. Apparently, we were saying that he's an accomplished sprinter as well on the Hagens-Berman team. He won the other night. And some guys are just super active in here. So
you know what, this course is unique because it's extremely technical, and the hairpin corner at corner 1 and the cobblestones throughout the course make an extremely difficult course. So for him to be doing what he's doing is demonstrating not only physical talent but also technical talent.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's just, I was down on the bottom corner earlier, just thrashing. Christian flying the colors of Orca Green Edge like a true pro. We were commenting on, I don't really think he's riding to win, more maybe just to stay safe, get some hard training, and you know, as we say, ride with some responsibility to make it hard.
Oh yeah, for him to be on the front like that, driving the pace lap after lap after lap, demonstrates exuberant physical fitness. For him to be doing that, you know, if somebody's on the front taking the wind, you're looking at putting out at least 30% more energy than the person sitting behind. So for him to be doing that, yeah, he might not be going for the race win, but he's training for something, and he has bigger fish to fry in Europe. However, there's also big fish here in Gastown. So
yeah, and this is a big fish. We're saying it's one of those wins that you know Ryan Anderson wants it, Zach Bell wants it, and apparently we're saying the Germans are working hard to take home all the cash, so they want it too. But yeah, I mean, it's been great for your career. It was a great 3-time winner of Gastown Grand Prix. Certainly is something that you remember forever, and is a great resume asterisk. So these guys all want it too, right?
Yeah, people come up from all over for this race. They come up from Europe, New Zealand, Australia, United States of America. So you're not looking at just local riders here. We have some amazing local talent. Swain Tuft, who's currently won the TTT at the Tour de France. So it's not a small fish to fry here. But for Christian to be doing this for training is probably, he either has a plan to win, or he's got a plan to train.
Yeah. The guys are saying that they're throwing there's a lot of money being thrown up here for preems, so it's going to be really hard for a break to establish, unless eventually something just cracks.
What happens with the preems often is that because there's so much money on the line, people they go for what's called the preems, where you win money, and that breaks the field up. But those preem people also then get tired and they drift back to the pack. So it does make it hard for a break to establish.
Garrett McLeod, Just looking to see who that is.
So when a rider goes off the front like that, number one, they go for the preem, but number two, they're also hoping for a break. So potentially that increases the pace of the field. So number one, you go for the preem, but say, hey guys, come with me. Let's try to get a breakaway. You might not be a sprinter, but you also might be somebody that can go away from the group and sprint from that group. So there's a few different kinds of tactics that you can use in this situation.
Yeah, and this now is one of the Germans making a real effort to create a breakaway. We've got Christian Meyer trying to go across there right behind once again.
And I'm sure you've talked about Christian not being a natural sprinter, but Christian would like to be in a breakaway, a smaller breakaway where he doesn't have to deal with 60 guys. He has to deal with 4 guys or 5 guys, and that way he has a better chance. He's an extremely strong rider, but for him, it favors him to probably be in a smaller group.
Absolutely. If it comes down to him having a chance at anything, we were just talking about, for instance, a guy like Brian Walton standing up here in the announcer's booth. He won this race in '88. Apparently no sprint, but you know it can be done. Can be done off a small break. Strength like this, and sorry, that's Yannick Meyer and Yannick on the podium the other night as well. One of our Germans here. Strong contingent of Germans, and we did comment on the fact they don't race a lot of criteriums in Europe. It's not really a style of racing that a lot of them experience until they come to North America. But these guys have been in Belgium racing kermesses to getting ready for the this technical acceleration and this sort of racing.
I also look at Christian Meyer taking advantage of that preem. So Christian Meyer looks like he just attacked off of him. So he just put out a good attack for the sprint. Christian was sitting on his wheel, and it looked like he just attacked him as well. So Christian might be by himself now, off in a
he's got onto
caught
the wheel,
up again.
so.
Yeah.
But Christian's happy to just sit out there and put out the power. And what do we think he'd be cranking out there, Gina?
He's looking at probably
450.
450, 500 watts.
Little guy. And you know, I remember I trained with him when he was a young, junior into Espoir, and he was a lot bigger than he is now. Those years on the Pro Tour have sure honed him down to be a pretty lean looking bike racer. And you see the difference. That's where that guy, the Steve Fisher of the Hagens Berman team, is a little bit of a different build for a sprinter. He's a very small, very slight rider.
And that sometimes can act as an advantage when you're looking at wind resistance. So as sprinters, sometimes they catch you by surprise. You don't have to be a big muscular guy or girl. You can also be very powerful.
So you've got the Optum Kelly Benefit Strategies team taking a presence at the front. We know Ryan Anderson wants this. We were talking about it being a big asterisk for anyone's resume. Ryan Anderson, although happy with finally getting a win last night at UBC, this would really be a significant addition to his resume. And of course, they do have the best sprinter in the field here in the form of Ken Hansen, who is our 2012 Gastown winner. So they have a few cards to play in that Optum.
For Christian,
Yeah.
For Christian being out here, this is a good move for him because he's out in the front and they're calling all these preems, and that just causes a lot of havoc in the field and a lot of sprinting. People sprint and they want to recover, then they sprint and they want to recover. It creates a very unnatural flow. For Christian sitting out there, maintaining what's called the gap, the distance between the pack and the field,
basically.
He's pulled a very good move here, I think, because everybody in the pack is sprinting and they're getting tired. He's just going in steady state.
Yeah.
So I think he's pulled a really good move here to potentially get away from the peloton.
And because of all the preems the main group are disorganized now. They don't have a flow and they don't have an organized chase on Christian, whereas Christian can just put pedal to the metal. We know how strong he is, and he can just kind of carry that through without any interruption in his flow.
One person I'm actually very curious in is Zach Bell. We haven't seen Zach Bell for quite a while. Zach Bell is sitting quietly in the field. He's not doing too much work. 17 laps to go. Zach is one of Canada's best sprinters. So I'm looking at some people who've been very quiet. Christian's been out in the front. Other people have been out in the front. But I'm looking at Zach Bell pulling something out of his back pocket.
Kind of like Jillian was in the women's race, a little bit quieter. We didn't really see her very much, but he knows he has the legs. We've seen a couple of spectacular wins from him in the pro field this year. So it'll be interesting to see what happens in the next, coming into the final stages of the race.
Definitely.
Thanks, Gina.
Thanks for having me,
Back
Leslie.
to BS. BS, get back over here. That's Bruce Spicer, not, BS.
Yeah, most of it's BS anyway, I think.
Thanks, Gina. That's my business partner in Tag Cycling. Always has many great words of wisdom to share with us, and that was exciting. Thanks, Gina. Go practice the rest of your session in the VIP tent.
Well, Christian Meyer is showing why he's a World Tour rider. I said earlier that I didn't think he was riding for the women, just trying to hurt some legs. He's certainly hurting some legs, and he's got Optum on their heels a little bit because they're burning matches chasing him, and that'll take the sting out of them for later. So I think this, whether he stays away or not, we got 15 laps to go, but I think it'll have a big effect because if you look at the front, it's all Optum chasing. They're worried about Christian Meyer, and they should be.
Yeah, really, really good move. He gets to stay out there and just drive the pace, stay within himself. Well, these guys have a little bit of it now. They're a little bit more organized, but with the preems, it's creating some accelerations, a little bit of a messy chase, and they really need to be organized to chase someone down with the capabilities of Christian.
Yeah, you see how worried Optum is. They put 3 riders on the front, and those are 3 riders that they may have wanted to be saving for the sprint and try to get Ryan or Ken up there. And now they're working to bring that back.
And Zach was there too. He's taking advantage now of this effort by Team Optum. He's right there in about 5th, 6th, 7th wheel. And as Gina was just commenting on him being a little bit quiet, we know he has the legs. He hasn't been able to be very active as a very marked rider in this field. But don't count Zach out for something as well if this comes together.
Well, we talked about the combine. We talked about Zach and Christian and these guys. So those are his buddies, whether they got a combine or not. They're not going to chase him. So again, that puts even more pressure on Optum to be doing the chasing. Of course, Haggis Berman, they've all got to chase him hard, and they've got to take this really seriously.
I'm back to bring a little bit of history to Zach and Christian. We were teammates on Team Symmetrics back in the day, so ridden for and together many years back when they were both developing. So have that and national team racing, but there you see all the orange helmets at the front, and they are burning matches trying to chase this down.
Yeah, and this works well for, look, we don't know if they're doing a combine, if they're working things out or not, but Nick Hamilton, Will Routley, Zach Bell, they're not going to chase, so they get to sit on Optum, and if they do catch Christian, then it leaves a door open for them to do a counter move.
And we've said too, this is a very technical course. It's very rough, and a solo rider can actually take advantage of that. Obviously, the back straight's fast, but then when you have someone with Christian's power on the back, he's not suffering too much. You see him here actually on the back straight.
Yeah, he looks pretty calm. Basically been riding the way he's been riding all race, whether the rider's on his wheel or not. But yeah, this is very impressive.
Fresh legs, save from last night. Didn't race last night.
Yeah, I wonder if this is something where he's taking the pressure off Zach Bell, and Zach Bell just gets to sit on Ryan Anderson or Ken Hansen and make those guys work, and maybe Zach Bell will be able to pull something out here. I think that Christian Meyer would be totally happy with that if that was the case. But right now, he's taking all the preems away from the Germans. The German preem hunters are not liking this.
No, this isn't good for their pocketbook.
Brian Walton was saying that, every lap to the finish now, we've got they'll be ringing the bell for preems. So that's going to keep the pace high and make it a little more difficult for Christian. But right now, he's mopping up all the money.
Makes it a little bit more difficult, but also with these, continuous preems, it does disrupt the organization of the chase a little bit, right? Because other guys getting in the way there. But looks now like, well, you see there's the acceleration, and then there's a little bit of sitting up and looking to see who's going to come through.
Yeah, he's not pulling away. He's been keeping the same gap for, the last 5 laps or so, which is impressive to know. But right now, again, not organized in the back. So he'll be pulling out a little bit this lap. Now Steve Fisher taking off after him.
He doesn't want any of that.
Yeah,
and he's been impressive. He's been so impressive.
Yeah, the second most active rider in the race probably. He wants to get across there. And, some Optimus fell back a little bit. They were taking control of the chase, but there's a number of guys there that don't want to let Christian go.
But I don't believe Steve Fisher is animated, as talented as he is, and as much as we've seen him, I don't think he has the sort of horsepower that we know Christian has and that we're seeing here.
Yeah, and if he tries to punch it across, I mean, everybody's sort of on edge now, worrying about Christian, and so they're all looking for someone to take a chase. And if anyone, Steve Fisher or anyone goes off, they're going to try to immediately be on that wheel because they know they're in desperation mode to get across that.
You see all the favorites up there. Louis Samaron as well, sitting in just a few wheels back. You don't see all the orange helmets up there as we did in the initial chase.
Yeah, they've fallen off a little bit, but there's a lot of people that want to chase, so that's good for Optum. Yeah. But yeah, they've fallen back a little bit. We see a bunch of orange helmets, but they're not in the top 10.
They're going to put them on the table. These are the gold, silver, bronze medals that are going to be awarded here tonight for the men and the women.
Leading that chase there is Ed Veal. He's from Ontario. We haven't seen much of him. Real Deal Racing.
Brian Walton, thank you. Remember this trophy?
Which is surprising.
Zach Bell in the frame, so he sees an opportunity here. Bridge across to Christian.
I'm surprised he'd be chasing though, when there's other guys that could be doing that.
Now there's the Roger Sumner Memorial Cup, because it was Roger Sumner.
But that long lens is deceiving though, it's hard to tell. But yeah, it's Zach Bell's trying to either go across.
We got $100
but don't know if
Team Optum know that could be a little bit of danger.
Oh, that could be a real bit of danger. But also he's got a bit of a gap there, and but that might be the little span to bridge across and bring this all back together, which I think
it's more likely
looks like is what's going to happen there. And we'll see. Maybe if Zach can get up there right away and maybe do something. But
to get up there now.
He's almost there, and
it's only about 5 seconds, but there is a slight gap. They're on an uphill.
So see if Christian can get a little bit of a breather on Zach's wheel, and then see if they can start working together. No, he's
Zach's gone right through.
Yeah, Christian looks like he sat up there. Maybe he thought the whole field was there. Well, this didn't work out quite the way Zach Bell expected, I don't think. So Christian Myers looks like he's going back. He's done his work, and now we got Zach Bell in the front. We'll see what he can do individually. But this is how he won nationals a few weeks ago. He got away late and soloed in for a sprinter. That's pretty awesome.
11 to go.
That's a tough one though. I think there's too much interest in the chase for him to hold this. But we'll see. Christian was out there for about 9 laps. And
on the other hand, how spectacular would it be to see Zach winning Gastown?
Oh yeah, that'd be perfect.
And Gina was just up here saying, we were just talking about the fact we hadn't seen him. And we know how badly he wants to win something here.
Yeah, during BC Super Week, he'd want to come out with one win. Yeah, pretty impressive gap though. But look at the back, all orange helmets chasing.
Look at all the orange helmets though.
But they're on the defensive. They had to chase down Christian, and now they have to chase down Zach.
And that's 13 seconds about the gap right now. He's definitely put Team Optum's Kelly Benefits on their heels, as you were saying earlier.
Yeah, interesting. I wouldn't have expected him to pull that kind of lead out so quickly. But these guys are burning matches, so that's what they got to do. I think they're the favorite team. Brian Walton's been saying here that Optum is, the favorites to win, but there's some pressure on them.
They are the favorite to win with basically the fastest sprinter in the field, and
Ryan Anderson is back.
Ryan Anderson that has a big incentive. Although maybe his resolve to win was slightly softened last night. We're saying without any win coming in here. Would have perhaps been a little bit. What did Rob Jones call him the other day? Predator.
The Dominator.
The Dominator.
Yeah.
and all weekend on the podium, but didn't get a win until the UBC Classic.
But he's not dominating right now. Right now, dominating is Zach Bell, and pretty impressive ride. He's got well, coming up on 8 laps to go.
And Zach Bell's had an incredible. He's had a great year after what he considered a little bit of a disappointing year, Olympic year in the Omnium. Comes off the track Omnium. We'll see what this is.
Yeah, and you never know how these chases go, what the commitment level is. Right now, they seem committed. This current lap, then you get a tax like this.
And that's Louis Amaran and Ryan Anderson trying to go across. And Marsh Cooper is sitting on the front, so he will probably try and control that. And that was 14, 15 seconds, so Zach actually put a couple more seconds.
But something's happening in the field, and they're trying to get across. So animated, something's going to change here before the end.
But Zach had close to 15 seconds at that point, and then there was the big launch going from Louise Amaran and Ryan Anderson. So
see what kind of gap they can close down.
See what this looks like.
So are they going to drag the field up, or are they going to be able to extricate from the field and then get up to Zach quickly? Because they got to do it quickly because he needs the help. They need to jump across quickly. They can't sort of drag themselves up there because they end up just pulling the field up to them. And if it's going to be 3 people, it needs to be 3 people now because we're winding down here. Yeah, crowd's getting into this, starting to get behind Zach Bell, and that'll motivate him.
That'll just fire him up.
Yeah, that's a wall of sound as you come through the start-finish area, and yeah, it's a great feeling. Looks like orange helmets.
This one down, orange helmets at the front, but they haven't launched and got across.
Yeah, crowd's starting to get behind Zach Bell. It's pretty awesome. Yeah.
And the gap's come down a little bit, down to about 10 seconds.
Optum is worried, so a little chase group forming, about 6 or 8 guys. I'd say Zach Bell's starting to labor a little bit, look behind, and he's not looking quite as fluid as he was. That's tough keeping that up for 8 laps. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys trying to go across, but not much of a gap over the field.
I find myself looking at Ryan and just saying, go, kid, go. The other name that's out there is rider number 8, Luis Amaran, out of Jamas Hagen's Bourbon, out of Albuquerque, New Mexico. There is some serious power.
Yeah, I see his shoulders starting to roll a little bit. He's laboring a little bit, but you know, still obviously good speed. He's holding them off, and he's digging hard now. Makes these last 2 turns. Will come back into the wall of sound up Water Street through Gastown, the cobbles. A classic North American race.
And this is one of those times where there's really nothing to do. Just look forward, go with it.
Yeah, process, not outcome. Don't start thinking about winning.
Exactly.
Just try to think about the next straightaway and keeping the pressure on.
Next corner, next straightaway, next 100 meters.
Yeah.
It's looking now like it's going to get shut down.
He's hanging on. He's got a pretty good gap, but they're not giving up at the back either. Yeah, they're pushing. Crowd's even more into it. Little noise in each lap.
Looks up, 7 to go. Here's the charge from the back.
And that's still around the same gap. He's still around 10, 12 seconds.
Amaran's really animated. He's doing a lot of the work.
Yeah,
and
Amaran is the one that's really...
Yeah, he's not sitting behind the optic guys. He's helping them out. So who does James Hagen have besides Amaran that to potentially win, or is he riding for himself here? You see any of these guys potentially winning? I see, you know, he's won a race, so he's obviously the guy. But right
there
now,
really hasn't been a lot. I mean, there's the teammates have been up there in the mix, but he's really been the guy that's shown the form. And I wonder though if the Hagens Berman, there's any relationship between those 2 teams at all.
I would think there would be.
Both amateur teams out of the U.S.
Well,
that's all the difference between himself and a $15,000 payday for the first place money.
Not technically the same team.
yeah, different jersey, but you think Steve Fisher that he'd be helping out Amaran, but it doesn't really seem like we've seen that. But But Zach Bell's keeping a bit of a gap here. I'd say, 13, 15 seconds the last, say,
and
4 laps.
And 6 laps to go, too.
Yeah,
6 laps to go. This is getting tense.
Yeah, every time they come through this start-finish area, that's got to be motivating for them.
Oh, yeah.
And this is the stretch that it needs it on.
See those orange helmets?
Yeah.
Now they're all working together at Team Optum Kelly Benefit.
Yeah, they're obviously concerned. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Optum team riders at the front. They want to take control of this, and it'd be interesting if they have the confidence that they can just shut it down as they want. I kind of think not of a rider of Zach Bell's caliber.
At the front of the pack with all of that might.
But regardless, with at least 3 laps to go, Optum's going to be lining those 6 guys up anyway, for whether it's Ryan Anderson or Ben Hansen.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they'll be stringing it out and clogging up that front with orange helmets, trying to get one of those guys to win. I'm sure they have a strategy, but right now the strategy has to get Zach Bell.
Get Zach Bell back to the fold.
Yeah, he's definitely a fly in the ointment of their plan and everyone else's plan too. Yeah, he's gasping for air now, but keeping the pace up.
Zach, although comes from the Northwest Territories, lives in North Vancouver, just a local boy. He and his wife Rachel actually just up the road from where we coach our cycling classes, and phenomenal talent.
Yeah, it'd be great to see Zach Bell win this. I don't want to jinx him, 5 laps to go. But
this would be a very popular win if it could happen.
I don't think we should call shutout yet. He looks good. I thought he was maybe struggling 2 laps ago, but...
And that's just under 10 seconds now. And you see Ken Hansen there as well, sitting on that train. Team Optum now have a well-organized team at the front of this race. So front of the chase group, not the front of the race, because we've got Zach Bell at the front of the race. But now it's down to sneaking under 10 seconds for the first time since he's been off.
Yeah, and you'd guess maybe that Ken Hansen is now their guy. Like, he'd sit on the back of their train and they would use up all their 5 teammates for Ken Hansen, and he wouldn't have to work from now till the end and save himself for a sprint, but and have the other guys. Well, here's Christian Meyer bringing the chase up again. So I would say that Christian Meyer and Zach Bell have not been working together. I'd say there's no combine between those guys. They.
No.
I'm surprised they didn't hook up when Zach crossed.
Would be approximately $2,500, which was splitting between the men and the women.
This is going to be cruel if he gets caught, with 1 or 2 laps to go.
Okay.
But I have a feeling that's maybe what's going to happen.
That's pretty much what's going to happen.
Yeah, well, sport's cruel.
$500 on the last lap for the men.
So Christian Meyer is leading the chase on Zach Bell with 4 laps to go.
200, 4 to go.
And Optum, I think, has breathed a little sigh of relief that they got Christian Meyer at the front there, because they haven't been able to do it, and now it looks like he's doing it for them. Yeah, they kind of closed this down. I'm a little surprised at that.
Yeah.
That he wouldn't have sat on the back of Optum and try to flick them. Because that was a huge favor he did for Optum right there. And, they're breathing maybe a little sigh of relief that it looks like they've shut that down. And Christian Meyer has really done it. Well, he hasn't done it yet.
Their day a little bit. I wondered actually, because of course I thought perhaps there would be a little bit of working together.
Yeah.
And I was wondering if Christian would.
Yeah, he stepped back now. It's back to Optum, but looks like hard to tell in this lens shot with what kind of gap they've got, but it's definitely closed down a lot. And then Zach's really laboring now.
Really laboring, just taking in every ounce of air that he can. Drive himself forward, stick with it, but this is commitment. He's down to well under 10 seconds now, but there's 3 laps to go, and we'll hear a massive noise as he comes through here now. Got all those Optum Kelly Benefit guys on the front, now probably riding, we imagine, for their sprinter, Ken Hansen.
Sorry, Ken Hansen, I was calling him Ben Manson.
I'd love to see him hang on to it, but it's just
noisy here to the start-finish line. But
So
yeah, I
close
think
now, 4 seconds, 3 seconds.
5 Optum riders at the front chasing him down.
If nothing else, that's quite a claim.
Yeah,
Quite a claim to his strength.
Yeah,
5 Optum riders riding their guts out
And
to
he's
chase
hanging.
him down.
And he's still off the front, so
Still off the front.
You had Optum. They had 6 guys on the front in these nice black and orange jerseys.
I still call the winner from Optum, but I don't think it's as clear cut as maybe it was. I'm not sure as I was at the beginning of the race.
Well, they've put in a fair effort now to chase this down. So
Yeah, and
you know,
depending on
it's-
who's sitting, somebody could get a free ride behind the Optum train and come by at the end and
Luis
nip them.
Amaran,
Yeah, absolutely.
whereas Steve Fisher.
Steve Fisher, haven't seen him for a little while.
And what about
one of the Germans, one of the Supreme Hunters,
no? It's actually Ben Chaddock.
Ben Chaddock. Yes, good call. But this, I see a carbon repair guy hanging
Yeah.
back there pretty close. That might be
Guys have been
Passeron.
active as well. And there's
Yeah.
Ben Chaddock, just came into the screen. Light blue, number 99.
They're just starting their. Looks like they're going to catch him on this straightaway. Yep, and now another guy's gone off the front. Who's this? That's Michael Schweizer from Team Germany. So one of the Germans making a counterattack. And I think these counterattacks are just going to keep coming. If they catch him, probably another
Yeah.
German or Hagens Berman will be off the front. Maybe Christian Meyer.
2 laps
But-
to go. Marsh Cooper from Team Optum at the front there,
This is
shutting down that attack.
This is exactly what Optum didn't want. They caught him and another guy went, and now they're at the front again trying to control this. So this will be impressive if Optum can win this because they've put their team at the front for the last, say, 12 laps. And look how hard they're working. See a lot of bottles going off on the sideline, people ditching bottles, getting ready for the
rid of all
sprint.
the extra weight.
Yeah.
And Luis Amaran there, he's sitting comfortably as well. We've got our other German rider there as well. Just saw him in the screen.
Yeah, Passeron in there.
This breakaway is good.
Is that Florence? Because remember, Florence Nauer as well, being on the podium
Past Canadian criterium champion.
this weekend, BC Super Week.
Rider. He's moved up.
So they stayed at the front. They've caught him, and they're just going to keep the pace right to the end. And
The Germans now have a real interest in trying to take this.
Yeah.
You just saw Florence Nauer. He's a real factor. Michael Schweizer. We've got 1 lap to go. We're on bell lap.
so Optum is just going to try to keep the pace high and then eliminate any more attacks. Set up the sprinter.
So they have to hold on to the front now, set up that sprint.
But they're doing a good job. They've had to work really hard for 12 laps, and now it's all coming down to this race down the backstretch. So they've got to
The
get
German
down.
team, they have other ideas.
Yep.
They're going to get in the way.
Everybody wants to get into the next turn in the top 5. So you got about 50 guys trying for 5 spots in this next turn at the end of the straightaway.
And as we've seen, not necessarily coming out of that last corner in front position, but second or third is where they need to be to take this. And this is just going to be mayhem. This is going to be a mad sprint coming through here. Zach Bell just going through, gave us a wave.
The Germans on the front.
And the Germans are on the front.
Yeah, so I think the winner of this race is going to come in the top 5, but not from the front in the last turn. So here we go, 2 turns to go.
And it's going to be Ken Hansen. That's my call.
Yeah.
Ken Hansen with a
So,
lead out there, sitting on
3
second
orange
wheel,
helmets
coming
through
around
here.
the last corner. Doesn't want to go too early. He's got to watch those Germans. They're still there. They're
So-
still there. You've got Nauer trying to come up on the left-hand side, but they're shutting him down.
So he hasn't gone yet. So the blue jersey, the orange helmet, that's
Coming in
last year's winner.
thunderous applause here.
It looks like Ken Hansen's going to take it, 2nd year in a
It's
row.
going to be Ken Hansen.
Yeah,
There
he's going to make it
goes.
look easy. 1st and 3rd for Optum. That was a great ride by them.
1-2 for Team Optum.
First and 2nd they called it, but it was really close for 2nd and 3rd. But Ken Hansen, 2 years in a row. But boy, they
And
sure had to
then,
work for it.
Florence Nauer was third. So that's good though. They had to work for it,
Yeah, that was a
but
good
they
bike race.
obviously deserved it.
That was
good
a
bike
really
race.
good bike race.
And Thanks to some animation from Christian Meyer and
Zach Bell.
Class of the field.
They made it. They made them work for it. So the guy we thought would pick as one of the possible winners, him or Ryan Anderson, Ken Hansen won, but it sure wasn't easy for them. So we'll have some interviews here as they do a warm down lap. But yeah, I'd say over the last few years, that's one of the better Gastowns that I've seen.
Yeah, absolutely.
And bunch sprint. So
bunch sprint, but with solo and then solo and lots of counters.
It could have gone the other way easy, but yeah, so for probably the last 6 or 8 Gastowns, it hasn't been able to, there hasn't been able to be a break established. And again, we come down to a bunch sprint. Here we go for a replay. Perfect lead out for Ken Hansen. And they had 3 guys clogging up the front, and he had a pretty easy ride of it, for that 12 laps of work they had to do. Impressive by the German guy. This guy, second guy, he's happy. Yeah, he did his job. Yeah. It's like he won. So
what a great show.
Ken Hansen will be thanking his teammates tonight. He owes them a lot because they worked hard for that win. So you think bike racing is individual, but really a team event. And
I'm going to say Zach Bell's going to get a bigger cheer than anybody out here today.
Yeah, he gets a big
cheer
as he comes through.
The race. He made it.
Yeah, so Zach Bell's getting interviewed here.
You had a couple easy laps cool down there with 1 to go. Fabulous job. Man, you had your mouth open trying to cool the turbo?
Yeah, a little bit. I think the more air you can get in there, as long as it's not coming out the back end bothering the guys behind me, I'm all right.
Fabulous job here tonight. You picked up yourself quite a bit of cash. You went for it. You're here by yourself. It's a chance sometimes that you need to take. Tell me what you were thinking. You played off Christian Meyer from Orica Green Edge there very, very well near the end, within 10 laps to go.
Yeah, well, I saw him go, and I was keeping an eye on the board, and it looked like the Optum guys were a little bit under pressure. So, I mean, I can go okay in a kick like this, but I think it was worth the gamble. The one mistake I did make is I kind of thought it was about 7 to go when I went, and I think it was about 12. So, yeah. So I think the math in my head was right, but I can't read. So maybe I'll do a little bit of schooling before next year's race.
Well, you were a little bit hypoxic. So we'll give you the benefit of the doubt. You're going to put quite a bit of cash in your pocket. Job well done. Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks a lot, and hats off to the Optum guys. I've ridden with that team before, and all the respect in the world. Those are the greatest guys, and it's good to see them take home another one. So,
thanks very much.
Zach Bell, one quick question. Did you hear the crowd? Did you hear them banging on the boards? That was all about you, buddy. It was all about you.
Well, we can get Ken Hansen, Eric Young, Florence Nauer up here as well. Ken, we're right over here. I know you may be a little bit tired, but you got a big smile on your face, that's for sure. Amazing job there. What a fantastic job by your team to deliver you here to the line, and you finished it off just ever so beautifully.
Yeah, I've got the fortunate privilege to, finish it off for the guys, and, it was, as you saw, it was an Optum team effort the whole day, and we just kept it controlled and wanted it to be a sprint, and we had a lot of confidence. Eric and I could do a really good finish, and, I'm just really happy to finish off with the team. The guys rode amazing for us.
Behind you, it looked crazy. We were on the Global Relay live feed watching the backstretch there. It looked like Eric on the last lap just gave a little bit of a kick, got you up there, got you a little bit more out of safety. It looked nuts back there.
Yeah, we lost a little bit of organization at the top of the course, and but then Ryan Anderson just did a really good job of just getting us organized, getting us back up to speed, and then Eric Young just decided to take the front right before the second to last corner, and just keep the pace really high and allow for me to get a really good sprint for the finish. And Anderson just did a really good job getting us organized.
So it was Ryan on the backstretch that was the glue that kept everything together.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the other 3 guys, stepped up big and controlled the front, and we just were patient, and then Ryan Anderson just waited for the perfect moment to take control, and it made my job and Eric's job a lot easier, and all the guys on the team just did a really good job, so it was definitely a big team effort.
Well, you guys really seem to be clicking. You won last night at UBC. You won again tonight, won 2 tonight. What are you going to do for an encore? You're going to go for top 3 spots tomorrow night in Giro de Burnaby?
I don't know about that. I mean, we're not going to be greedy about it. We're just happy that we got the win, and second place is even better, and we're just really happy to defend Gastown and win it again. So thanks everyone for coming out, and it's a great race, and you guys put on a great race for us, and really appreciate it.
Well, thank you very much, and thank you for putting on such a professional show here tonight. Great job.
Thank you. My pleasure.
Eric, you want to come up here? 1-2. Impressive.
Yeah, we felt a little bit of a surge coming on the backstretch. We were originally planning for me to kind of just go out of this last corner. But kind of felt the surge coming, so I went a little bit earlier. Just soft pedaled it through the last straightaway there, and then out of the last corner, just put my head down and gave it everything I had. I knew Ken was right on my hip, and I knew nobody was going to beat him to the line, so I just wanted to give it everything I could, give him the best chance out of that corner, and then I was able to hold on to second, which is really just a huge icing on the cake for us. So it was a great performance. We did a great job staying together, but also following the surges in the last 3 or 4 laps. And that's a tough thing to do, especially with a couple new guys here that we don't race together all that much. And so it's just a great job of the whole team, and I'm really happy.
Well, you should be. 1-2, 15K to win. Is it 8 or 6 for second place? That's a great payday for Team Optum.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what it is, but we are not disappointed about that.
One of the things that a lot of these spectators may not realize is how important patience is. And from a cyclist that's raced in the past, I was very, very impressed with the composure of the team and how patient Ken was. You can tell he is a true leader of this team. He didn't panic too much when you lost a little bit. Ryan picked it up. You were right there as well. You guys waited quite a bit, and it was almost like the confidence. He knew he was going to win, and it was trying to keep things together almost for a second and possibly even a third place finish.
Yeah, we knew we didn't want to catch Zach too early, and Christian was up there earlier as well. And if you catch him too early and blow some of your guys, then you're kind of left stranded. And so we knew we had to just feather it, and that's exactly what we did. The guys did perfect. I mean, everyone was there. Everyone did their job in an excellent fashion. And then once it gets down to we caught Zach, and then it was just about managing the rest of the field and keeping everybody in check until the last lap. But we did a great job.
Well, congratulations. We'll see you up here on the podium in a few minutes.
Just a phenomenal night here tonight for the second Global Relay Gastown Grand Prix, celebrating 40 years of cycling. Just a pleasure to have you all here tonight in the house. Stand by, because in a couple of moments from now, we're going to present the top 3 women. We will give them their medals, we'll give them their trophies, and we will also present them with their winners' flowers, the traditional champagne. Get your cameras ready. We'll be ready to present the top 3 women, the top 3 men a couple of moments from now. Just a little house cleaning. Little music, just lift the pace here for a couple of moments. $8,000 for the women, $15,000 for the men. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate your patience. As you can well imagine, we've got some final results to be checking here. Not that the results of this one are anywhere in doubt. We're looking for the top 3 for the women. Ladies, we need the top 3 for the women's ride to gather behind the stage, please. Jillian Carlton, Leah Kirchman, Robin Farina, Jillian Carlton, and Leah Kirchman. We need you behind the stage, please. Ken Hansen, Eric Young, Florence Nauer, need you behind the stage, please. Fifth event in BC Super Week concluded here tonight. A couple of moments from now, we'll present the top 3 for the women. Present the winner's check for the top rider for the women of $8,000, followed by the presentation of the top 3 men and the $15,000 first prize check that goes to Ken Hansen of Optum. Remind you that if you had a good time here tonight, the party continues tomorrow night up in Burnaby. The Giro de Burnaby will get underway. We'll have a little fun tomorrow night, 6:30 up in Burnaby on East Hastings. Giro de Burnaby, similar kind of course like this. Tight, fast, lots of prize money, lots of energy coming from the riders. Every event tells its own story, and I tell you what, a spectacular story written here tonight by Zach Bell. What a moment for him, as he couldn't handle the attack. Just absolutely nothing left in the tank, but absolutely, without a doubt, Zach Bell won himself a lot of friends and a lot of fans here this evening. Brian Walton joins me now. Brian, we've had 4 nights where we've been working together, and this is the 5th event in the BC Super Week. Without a doubt, these cobblestones, this place brings some special energy and some special magic. We've seen some pretty good competition, but nothing like that one-man attempt staged by Zach Bell. People will be talking about that one for a while.
They certainly will be talking about that effort. But that sprint, that team effort by Team Optum, absolutely fabulous. Ken Hansen, Eric Young, Ryan Anderson being the glue on that last lap, keeping things together. Incredible race here tonight. And let's not forget the young German, Florence Nauer from Team Bayer, finishing in 3rd position.
He's been a force to be reckoned with since the start of this thing.
He certainly has. I mean, he won BC Super Week last year.
Yep.
He's been extremely consistent throughout. He's strong. He's fast. Tomorrow night, up in Burnaby, excuse me, at the Giro de Burnaby, we're going to have another very exciting race.
Yeah, I think that Florence Nauer and the rest of the Germans all have been exceedingly glad that they decided to come here. Came over from Germany to basically step in and ride, and certainly glad that they did. We're just going to wait for the clock. People come from around the world. They wait, and then get to hear the Gastown steam clock. I think it's telling me it's 9 o'clock.
I was going to say, there's not many things that can keep Phil Johnson quiet.
Thank you, Mr. Walton. Ladies and gentlemen, did you have a good time tonight? Well, it is time to honor and present to the top three for both the men and the women. We will start with the women's ride. What a brilliant ride it was. It's a pleasure to introduce to you the third place finisher for this, the second Global Relay Gastown Grand Prix. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together. From now, Novartis for MS, please welcome Robin Farina, third place. Robin, thank you. Presenting the flowers, the president of Cycling Canada, the medal, John Tolkamp. Beautiful flowers from Heather's The Flower Shop right here in Gastown. Ladies and gentlemen, second place, Specialized Lululemon. Welcome, Jillian Carlton. Presenting the flowers, Jordan Stewart, the president of the Gastown BIA, the Gastown Business Improvement Area. Silver medal, beautiful flowers. Jordan Stewart from the BIA, thank you. What a race, but there can only be one number one position. Optimum Kelly Benefit Strategies, Leah Kirchman. Presenting Shannon Rogers, President, Global Relay, medal, flowers, and a very cool collectible jersey. Shannon Rogers. It's not quite a teddy bear, but I tell you what, it's right up there. Ladies and gentlemen, please, if you would, 1, 2, 3, Robin Farina, Jillian Carlton, Leah Kirchman. One for the photographers. Second Global Relay Gastown Grand Prix. Now Now we're going to present the ceremonial trophy. The winner's jersey to Leah Kirchman from Optum Kelly Benefit Strategies. Beautiful leader's jersey. And a phenomenal trophy. Jersey, trophy, pose for the pictures. In a moment, we're coming out with the champagne. Way to go! And here's the moment of truth. This is the moment of truth. $8,000 first place money. Leah Kirchman, Optum Kelly Benefit Strategies. What a night, what a night. Great night for the team, great night for her. Good one. Now let's remove the trophy. for the ladies. Phenomenal win. Thank you, ladies. Absolutely. Wouldn't you love to take that home with you? Your name will go on it. Beautiful trophy. Don't forget your check. Can't leave money like that lying around. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to present the top three in the men's event. What a night this was. $15,000 in the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. But first of all, I'd love to present to you the third place finisher. Please welcome from Optum Kelly Benefit Strategies, your third place finisher, Ken Hansen. Mr. Hansen, come on out, please. Okay. I'm not even. We're gonna rejig this. They've got it upside down and backwards, and my eyes are just reading what goes in front of the eyeballs. Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, finishing third here tonight, would you please welcome from Team Bayer-Landshut, Florence Nauer, all the way from Germinator Race. Finishing third, Florence Nauer. Presenting is Wendy DeGrazzi from the Donnelly Group. One for the photos. Finishing second from Optum Kelly Benefit Strategies. Would you put your hands together and please welcome Eric Young. Eric Young. Presenting the medal, silver medal, flowers. Mike Strabley, COO for Allstream. Congratulations, one for the cameras. Photo! Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, $15,000 with the prize money. And I'll tell you what, did he work hard for it. Please welcome your first place finisher from Optum Kelly Benefit Strategies, Ken Hansen. Ken Hansen. Absolutely. Presenting the medal and the flowers, the CEO, the founder of Global Relay, Warren Roy. One for the cameras. All right. Now we present the jersey, winner's jersey. The Mayor's Cup, as it was once called, porcelain enamel, Roger Sumner Trophy. Ken Hansen's name to go on it in perpetuity. This trophy is going to be around for a long time, thanks to the folks at Global Relay. Now we have that check to be presented as well. Ken Hansen, have a look at the numbers on here. It says $15,000 on it. Largest single event purse handed out in one night, $45,000 in total. 15 goes to young Mr. Hansen here, and has he got a smile on his face? Ladies, gentlemen, your winner, Ken Hansen, Optum Benefit Strategies. You see the look on his face. This is your turn. Ho!
Push me and then just touch me till I can
oh,
get
yeah.
my
satisfaction.
Push me and then just touch me till I can get my satisfaction.
Ladies, gentlemen, 1, 2, 3. Global Relay Gastown Grand Prix. Warren Roy, thank you so much. Beautiful night. Stunning night of racing.
Push me and then just touch me till I can get my satisfaction.
Warren Roy, really quite a night, a phenomenal night of racing. This must feel pretty good. What a party, what a party.
It has been fantastic. And thanks for everybody that supported the event, and thanks for everybody that's been out tonight. I couldn't have had a better evening myself.
Well, I'll tell you what, I know from their point of view, from the winning ladies on the other side, but mostly I'll tell you, Brian Walton kept saying it's been a long time since he's seen a crowd respond the way this one did here tonight.
Yeah, I think the cyclists tonight just got so much energy out of the crowd. I mean, that's what really drives the kind of finish that we saw tonight. It was just fantastic. So thanks, guys.
On behalf of Warren Roy, I want to welcome you all next year, this time, the 3rd Global Relay Gastown Grand Prix. Thank you for being here. Be careful as you go home tonight. Don't forget, tomorrow night, Burnaby. The Giro de Burnaby, they'd love to have you come up and join them. What else are you going to do on a Thursday night? See you tomorrow night up in Burnaby. Thank you, Mike. Pleasure. Up here, for those of you that are shutter bugs, for those of you that are camera bugs, picture with the 2 winners, their trophies. These are going to be flashed up online in a very short period of time. Totally awesome. Phenomenal night. Whole lot of magic. Attention riders. Some of you have got wheels that belong to the good people at the bike gallery. If you've got their wheels, would you bring them back, please?
I think they're missing about 3 wheel sets, 3 or 4. As much as you might like to take those wheels home with you, please bring them back and return them down there to the pit area. Brian Walton, what a night, what a night, what a night.
What a night. Incredible racing. We've got another night to go tomorrow night in Burnaby for the Giro to Burnaby.
Tell me now, in all honesty, you've ridden it